Girl, if you're out here believing every piece of hair advice you see on TikTok or on Instagram, things like hair business isn't profitable anymore. And to be able to sell any type of hair in 2026, you have to be on every platform. You're setting yourself up for fail. Hi, my name is Oris and I have been running my hair business for over 2 years now. In this video, I am breaking down the biggest myth that kept me broke and what actually works instead. The first one is thinking you need to do it all. You need to do coloring, you need to do frontal installs, and you're thinking the more services I offer, the more money I make. Nah, this is the wrong step to take. Honestly, you're going to turn into jack of all trades, master of none. This is especially if you're new to the business. You need to figure out your strength first. And once you're really good at that particular skill, you can then add more later. Let me give you an example of me. At one point, I was thinking, you know what? I think I'm going to go into short wigs. And then my business was not even at the stage yet where I need to learn diversify or maybe seek something else. I was coloring, but I felt like I could be better at colors. But then I decided, you know what? Let me go and add like short hair into my business because I feel like I was looking for the easiest way to make money. I was exhausted. I got to a point where I was slacking on what I was good at because I was putting my full concentration on something new. Honestly, focus on one thing, be great at that, and then move on to the next. It is quite tempting to feel like, oh, I'm not making money here. I need to maybe seek other things and start making money. Honestly, you're just going to waste your time, especially if you know that the first skill you're doing is really what you want to do. Don't diversify. Focus on one thing, be good at it, and then move on to the next skill. Make sure you're really, really good at it. And people are also telling you that you're good at this particular skill before you move on to the next one. All right, let's talk about the next one, which is being cheap to get clients. This is one of the biggest mistakes I see a lot of beginners make because what they think is, oh, the market is really saturated. So if I come in cheap, if I come in very affordable than everybody else, I bet you people will come to me rather than go to the other person. That's not true. It doesn't work like that. You will get clients, but you get the clients that will stress you. They will complain and they won't value your work. And then you'll be thinking, okay, I'm giving them one of the best offers. My hair is really good. Why are people complaining? This is because you're offering them something cheap and there's always doubt in everybody's mind that the way that this hair is cheap, I hope she's not trying to sell me bad quality. And let me tell you something, the clients that look for cheap stuff are the most stressful clients you could ever get. They're going to stress you. They're going to drain every single penny they have paid. They're going to think that they're giving you so much money and you need to appreciate them rather than appreciating the value that you're giving them and also the service you're providing. And worst of all, you're not making money. You're thinking, oh, you know, the more that I sell, because obviously when I'm affordable, more people will come. That doesn't work. When it comes to volume, it doesn't work when it comes to a hair business, except you're selling bundles that doesn't require physical work. If you're doing physical work and you haven't scaled yet, honestly, don't think about volume. Stop trying to compete on price, compete on quality, because I promise you, it's not worth it. Quick one, before we move on to the next myth. Which of this myth have you been believing? Don't be shy, let us know in the comments. Are you trying to do everything or are you trying to price low? Drop a comment and let us know. And if you think both myths are wrong and you don't believe that they are myths, let us know in the comments. All right, let's go to the next one. The next myth is not having a financial plan and you're thinking you can wing it until it gets better. Even if you're just starting out, it's really important to have a financial plan in place, even when you've made $0. And I'm going to tell you why. This is because if you don't have a financial plan in place, you end up not separating your revenue from your profit. And this is one of the biggest pitfall for businesses. For example, you sell a wig for $1,000 and you're like, hooray, have made $1,000. No, you haven't made $1,000. That is your revenue. You need to think about the cost of hair, the cost of getting the hair shipped to the customer, your packaging, the time that you used in styling that wig, or the time that you used in coloring that wig. You have to take all of these things into account. And this also includes the product used on the hair. Because you've taken out the cost of the hair, the products, the packaging, and what is left is your profit. No, you have to pay for your time. You need to take out the time spent and how much you want to charge in regards to your time. Once you've taken all of this out, what is left is your profit. The time spent on the wig is not your profit. You have to separate your business account from your personal account, because as a new business, you're probably thinking, well, I don't need to do this now. Yes, you do. Even if you've made $0, honestly, this will save you a lot of stress and money. It will save you time where you're thinking, I thought I made $1,000. Why is my balance shaking? Why does it look funny? This is because you haven't separated your business account from your personal account. And once you're able to have all of this in place, you need to track your profits so that you know if you're actually making money. This will also help you know if you need to price better, especially if you take into account your time charges. All right, here's another one. You need to be on every platform. No, you don't. You don't need to be on every platform, because not all platforms will work for you. And I'm going to explain better, because all platforms don't work the same. All platform will not give you the same money that you're looking to get. However, you need to solidify your brand in that platform. Set your TikTok up, set up Pinterest in your name, set up everything in your name. When it comes to TikTok, I personally believe TikTok is not a high ticket place where you can sell high ticket items. Coming from someone that have been on TikTok for a while now, have about 50,000 followers, I do not think TikTok is a place to actually sell high ticket items. TikTok is good for like branding, where people would actually see you. It helps you grow. It helps people notice your brand. Don't get me wrong, I do get a lot of clients from TikTok that pay for my high ticket items. However, the ratio to buying compared to my other platform is quite low. You can go viral very quickly. Like, I do have a lot of viral videos, but that doesn't really translate into like high ticket items. TikTok, because TikTok was the first platform that I gave my all to when it comes to Olok's hair brand. And I noticed that I was making sales. I didn't even know the difference until I put my focus on Instagram. I moved on to Instagram, and I think I moved on to Instagram 2025 January. That's when I literally started posting on Instagram properly. So it's kind of been a year now. And when I was on Instagram, I wasn't really bothered. I think I had about 500 followers then. I just used to repurpose videos from my TikTok to Instagram. They never used to do well. Then my videos started popping off in like March, and then it got better. And I noticed that sales started popping in, high ticket sales. Also, when it comes to other platforms like Pinterest is known for high ticket items. People are willing to spend more on Pinterest, but Pinterest has a different audience. So it's like of an aesthetic decor kind of thing, but you will get sales as a hair or wig business owner from Pinterest. So you have to think about the platform that will work for your target audience and what you're selling. You don't have to be on every platform. Once you've dealt with one platform, you're making money from it, then you can move on to the next, grow that one, make money from it, move on to the next. And that is basically what I do. Initially though, that wasn't the case. I was like, I have to be everywhere to make money. I was on YouTube, I was on TikTok, I was on Instagram, I was on Snapchat, I was on everything. And I rarely saw the needle move when it comes to sales. As soon as I focused on a platform and I was just giving my all on that single platform, I started seeing sales come in. And the way I did it was simple. I just made sure that I cut so many platforms off. I wasn't focusing on Instagram. I wasn't focusing on YouTube anymore, because YouTube requires a lot of work. So I made sure that those platforms were doing well, bringing me sales and money before I then went into different platforms. Now, this one might surprise you. People say hair business isn't profitable. If you're not making money, it's not because hair business isn't profitable. It's because you're trying to scale a business model that doesn't scale. For example, if you're a solo hairstylist in a salon, your income is capped by your time. You get sick, no money, you can't work from home, because obviously you're required to be in your salon to make money. That kind of model is actually very hard to scale. You can scale it by employing people, but honestly, a lot of time people actually want you to do their hair for them. So if you're not there, obviously you have to also supervise your team. So you have to physically be there in the salon to make sure that everything is running smoothly. Now, they do have managers. You can have a manager. I get it, it can work. I'm not saying it can't, but you can't have just that business model and think that you can scale. You have to add different things into it. Like a lot of these hairstylists will be able to have being a wig maker, where they create your wigs and they ship it to you, because you can do it alongside being a hairstylist. Maybe you don't feel like taking in clients, but you just want to create wigs, and you have that option. But if you don't have an option, if you're just focusing on one business model, especially when it requires your presence in a particular building, honestly, it is hard to scale. It takes a while to understand the scaling system. You can make money, don't get me wrong. You have to understand that having a salon and scaling a salon is a different ball game, and it's not beginner friendly. So it's not that hair business isn't profitable. You just need the right business model in order for you to scale. If you're getting value from this, hit the like button. It helps other people see this video, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. All right, we've got got 2 more minutes to go and then we are done. Let's do the next one. This is thinking that selling bundles is a strategy. It's not a strategy. It's actually one of my least favorite business model when it comes to hair business. Don't think like selling bundles is going to be the way to become a millionaire in 2026 as a hair business owner. Unless you have a massive budget to scale and compete with like the big players. Honestly, this one is not for you. It is not sustainable. Also, it is very, very saturated because there is no barrier to entry. I can wake up now, maybe not me, but obviously if it's somebody else can just wake up and say, you know what? I think I want to start selling hair now. Where would I start from? Bundles. Okay, let me fly to Vietnam. That is so easy to get into. Even if you need to sell bundles, wholesale is the way to go. Selling bundle as retail is not advisable. It's a long game and it requires a lot of financial push. If you're a beginner, focus on services or ready-to-wear wigs that requires you to physically do something to the hair to get it ready for the client. If you insist and you're saying, Oris, I just want to sell bundles, okay, you can do this by making sure you have a unique selling point. Why should I buy these bundles from you? I can actually go on AliExpress or go on some other website. Why is yours different? You have to have a unique selling point if you're going through like the retail route. Even a wholesale, you still need a unique selling point. You can come in and say you're going to be faster, you're going to do a quicker delivery to when they buy it from like Vietnam or like India and stuff like that. Yours is going to be next day. You can come in through that route, but you have to have a unique selling point to make people buy your bundles. All right, the last one is running an ad for your hair business. When I see beginners do this, or like some of my mentees when it comes to me and say, I've been running ads and I'm not making sale. That's not how it works. People will see your ad, quite all right. Facebook is going to do its job. They'll come on your page. They may follow you. They may like your wig, but they're not going to buy from you straight away. It is not instant. It compounds over time. Now, you can make money from running ads as a hair business, but don't think that you want to spend maybe a certain amount and you want to quickly see results. It may not be very advisable for a beginner. Like when it comes to high ticket items, I have learned the lesson. When I used to be a bridal hairstylist, I thought running ads were going to like give me clients and stuff like that. It brought people to my page. People were able to see me. People came back and paid. But at the time when I was running the ads, it was not profitable. So if you're a beginner, don't start with ads. Build your organic audience first. Then you can run ads once you have traction. Even when you're running ads, don't run the ad like you want to make a sale. Run the ad as a awareness ad where people are aware of your brand. Don't run the ads and think, okay, if I spend $20, which it won't work. Facebook, they're really smart. Like they're really smart. You can't spend $20 and then make $1,000 on the same day. It can happen, but the chances are really slim. So you have to spend a lot of money, especially if you're selling high ticket items. And for beginners, I will not really advise this. Just to give you a quick story, I ran ads when I first started. This was my bridal hair business because I learned my lesson. So I did not do this. I didn't run ads on my wigs when I started. When I ran the ads, I got likes, I got follows, I got DMs, people asking me questions, but no sales, like no instant sales. But once I stopped and focused on like organic content and getting my organic audience to see my content and book me for my service, everything started to fall in place. Okay, so if you want a step-by-step guide teaching you how to construct a sellable wig from glueless frontal to closure wigs that is currently 5-star rated with over 5,000 students on it, check the link in the description and it is only $37. Think about how much you can make from just watching a $37 course. Don't forget to subscribe, put the notification bell on so that you don't miss my next video. If you're also looking to start a hair business and you're not sure what to do, you can check out this video here. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in my next one.